with the news just coming out that the Oilers have sent Jesse Puljujarvi back to the American Hockey League and Pierre-Luc Dubois is looking good to make the Columbus Blue Jackets, how has the perception shifted about the top few picks in the 2016 draft? Is the consensus now that the Jackets made the right decision, or do the majority of scouts execs still like Puljujarvi's long-term potential? Great question. Here brings up an interesting point. It's funny, I would have expected that because Austin Matthews and Patrick Laine came to the NHL and made immediate impacts, I would have bet big money that Jesse Puljujarvi would have made the Edmonton Oilers in his first year and maybe not put up as many numbers, especially on the goal-scoring front, as Laine and Matthews, but I thought he'd be an everyday player for the Oilers in his rookie season. He wasn't. It's not a big deal. Everybody develops at a different time. He needed more time to adjust to the smaller ice and get his game in order and earn the trust of head coach Todd McLellan. But it is interesting that here we are in his second year and he's back down. Now, I think he had a much better training camp, a much more representative training camp of what he's capable of. And I won't be surprised if he's back in their lineup sooner rather than later this season. But I was still a little surprised that he didn't make the grade and that Kyler Yamamoto, the 2017 first rounder from the Edmonton Oilers, another small guy, small but mighty with a tremendous amount of skill, is getting his opportunity. But Yamamoto only played 5-6 minutes in his first outing. I'll be interested to see how short his leash is as they look at the 9-10 game threshold and whether Puljujarvi might be coming back. As for Dubois, the year that Matthews went 1, Laine went 2, and Dubois went 3. I was mildly surprised that Columbus did that because I thought Puljujarvi was the consensus number 3 guy. But the Blue Jackets were convinced that Dubois was the better long-term bet. And he's had a good camp, and they expect him to be an everyday player for them, although that determination will once again be made once we get into regular season games and Columbus's openers tonight. We'll monitor the situation. Those two players will always be linked. We'll always look at them. But here's the bottom line with 19-year-olds in the National Hockey League. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And whatever Dubois does or doesn't do, whatever Puljujarvi does or doesn't do this season, the real testament as to what these guys are all about will ultimately be decided 2 or 3 years down the road. And so that's when we'll make that final determination.